did Will Stein appear on your radar? And then when did you know that he was the guy for the job?
I don't. Everybody says, the old adage, you keep a massive list of all the names that you've ever followed in every job you've got in your department. I find that fascinating. That's a really lot of lists. I watched a lot of college football. I watched a lot of college sports in my career, and you sort of keep track of people. And I'm thankful that I've got a lot of connections in the enterprise of college athletics. One of them just happens to be the athletic director at the University of Oregon, and who worked for me for a while, and so we're good friends. And I pay attention to watch. There's 3 of our former staff members on their staff out there. So you watch your friends, and pay attention to them, and Oregon has always had a really, really good scheme, and the way they play the game is fast and an attack style. And then you begin to find out who's doing what on the staff and begin to put pieces of the puzzle together, and somehow they might make your list. So you sort of keep track of people, and then you sort of see how things play out. And I don't know that there's ever that magical moment. You watch the landscape of what goes on, and I mean, if we were that prophetic, we wouldn't be in the jobs we're in. We would be doing something much, much different. Where you have to sort of see what is going on in other jobs and see who fits you and what you're trying to get done and where you need to be. And one of the things I thought that was important last time around, we had a really difficult time stopping people the last time this job was open. And so our focus was more defensive minded. Our focus this time was a little bit different. I was very specifically trying to find ways to put points on the board. I don't think that in today's world it's really hard to win games in our league scoring 17, 21 points a game. We've got to find a way to be where we're lighting up the scoreboard as Will talked about. And so that was important to us, to be able to try and find more of an offensive mindset to what we're doing. And I think it's good for our fans. Our fans are wanting that. They wanted to see us score some points and be more, be more successful at putting the ball in the end zone. So that was a focus. So and Will fits that scheme and that thought mindset extremely well. And as I said in my statement, it's a bonus that he happens to have grown up 80 miles down the road. It's a bonus that he loves this Commonwealth and he loves Kentucky, that he grew up going to games in then Commonwealth Stadium, now Kroger Field. It's a bonus. The greatest part of the whole thing is he's a really good football coach, and you heard him talk about the game. I think just the way he talks about the game and what he's trying to get done, that's the start of how you get it going. So.
At what point during early conversations did you say, "Oh yeah, he's the guy"?
Well, you guys have known me well enough. I mean, I've been through a lot of these searches, and I sort of work my way from, I will say, top to bottom pretty quickly, and I go with the one person I want to go get first, and then if that doesn't, then I move on to the next one, and that's sort of how I've done things. Now you're going to hold me to that, and the next time I have a search, you're going to say, "Oh, he got to that." Then I might do it different, just to mess you up. No, yeah. I mean, a lot of things that he says that convinces you. Number one, just his resume of what he has done. I mean, he's coached great quarterbacks. He has been a top 10 offense many, many times. At one time at UTSA, they were averaging, like middle 40s in terms of what they produced. And I think the last game he coached at UTSA, he said they scored 55 points or something like that. And I mean, it is about the ability to put points on the scoreboard. And so that was it. And when you heard it a little bit when he was talking up there about the way he thinks about the game, it's really good. It's really unique, and I think it's exciting to hear that. And you can tell his passion for wanting to teach the game, and that is important to us. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little pieces. I don't think there's ever one thing that you go, "Oh my gosh, that is it." But obviously the part that was a focus was trying to find a way to score some points.
You confirmed all your suspicions.
Was the Louisville game the thing that made you decide there was a change needed, and how important was Mark negotiating the full buyout format?
No, I don't want to get into all of that other than to say that, I think that we were still competing for postseason play the last 2 weeks of the season, and that was important for this team to have an opportunity to do that and for us to have an opportunity to move forward. And Mark Stoops gave us 13 incredible years of his life, and we want to always focus on the end. And sometimes I read a book the other day, and they talk about there's no happy endings. Not a lot of those in the games of sports. You don't get a lot of happy endings where you get to walk off into the sunset and get to call it the way you want to call it. You don't get that. Many times it ends in a head-down walk through the tunnel to find your family hanging out for you by yourself. It's hard, really hard. And so I want to focus for Mark on the 8 years that he gave us in that middle stretch. We went to 8 straight bowl games, and the 10-8-10 run that we had in the middle that was spectacular. We hadn't seen that ever here. And people get all hung up at the very beginning when it was a struggle and he inherited a program that was really, really difficult, and they want to get hung up on the end when it was a struggle and we weren't doing what we wanted to do. Forgetting the middle where he absolutely gave this program a new set of boundaries and moved the goalposts for us, so you can call it whatever you want to call it. He raised the expectations of what this place needed here. So let's not get hung up on what he didn't do. He did a lot. And that really irritates the snot out of me when people take shots and say, and all of a sudden then he comes and says, man, and he was great on Sunday. It's spectacular. The conversation, he's a good man, and he has a lot of love for this program in this city. So I don't ever walk out of here thinking that I don't have unbelievable respect for Mark Stoops and what he did here. And we all need to be thankful for what he did. He did change the expectations for what we're doing here, and Will's thankful for that as well, because you heard him talk about it. He doesn't want to just sell. He wants to move forward and grow it from here. So Mark was great. We worked our way through it. He's a good man, and he gave a lot to this place.
Mitch, the urgency in going from firing Stoops in the morning to hiring Will in the evening why was that? What created that?
Signing day was today. Signing day's today. So we have a class of 12 guys that we were trying to figure out, they were trying to figure out who their coach was going to be and what was going on, and the dates have changed. It's not like it used to be, where you had multiple opportunities and there's a beautiful window of time and we all had the opportunity to work our way down the calendar, and whenever it was convenient. It didn't wait for that. There was all the jobs that culminated on this weekend, and everybody was setting their course. And make no mistake about it, we can talk about tampering, we can talk about no doing this and no doing that. They're flat calling players all over the place, and there's player movement everywhere. So let's not kid ourselves. And so, to protect our roster, to protect our program, to protect recruiting, we had to move fast. That was the basis.
Was on that certainly gets clear. Some people are not playing by this cap limit, salary cap limit. How do you compete against that? And are you confident with the revenue sharing?
We're confident in what we're doing, John. And people have asked that question 19 different ways from all the stuff that's been going on, and it's exhausting. Enough about have we got enough? We've got enough. And we're working at it just like everyone else is working at it. We're no different. Everybody, JMI, they've got Learfield. We've got JMI. They've got Learfield. They've got Playfly. So this notion that we don't have enough is ridiculous. We've got enough. We've got to resource it the right way. We've got to assess talent the right way. We've got to acquire it the right way. And we've got to make sure we're within the boundaries and the rules. We're not going to break the rules. That's flat out. We're not doing that. All right? We will do it the right way. We don't need to do that. We're good enough at what we do. We've got good people. That's why we hired this guy. He's really smart. Really smart. He's put together a really good game plan of how they're going to do it. And they've in the first day, they've made some really nice adjustments to what we're doing, and we'll be fine. But that notion and all this nonsense that's been created, variety of places that we don't have enough or we're not working at it, has got to stop. It's enough.
Mitch, you talked about
It's the last question.
You talked about adjusting to this new era of college sports. With hiring Stein, there's reports that you're getting a general manager. What does that do for this program?
I think that's semantics. Everybody says general manager, player personnel, talent acquisition coordinator. I've heard all that stuff. There's 19 different titles right there. It's structure. It all comes down to the same thing. It comes down to talent evaluation, talent acquisition, and putting the things in place that legally allow you to compete. All this notion that coaches aren't controlling their rosters and they're not making decisions, it's ridiculous. At the end of the day, the coach is going to put in that program who he wants to put in that program to make plays, period. Or he's not going to be the coach very long. If he's allowing someone to sit down the hallway and make those decisions for him, he will not be the coach very long. So it has to be integrated. It has to work together. It will work together for us. let's close on this thought, because I'm done. All right? I have the right to do that. All right? This isn't about all of that. It's about that man and his ability to coach our team. And he is here, and I'm super fired up for him about the way he has approached this thing and the energy he's bringing. And I'm really excited about Will Stein and Darby and have their family being here. And I don't want that to get lost on anybody. We can sit here and talk about all the nuances of college sports and all the things that we think we're doing or not doing. And about that today. It's about him. It's about him and about a dude that's fired up to be at Kentucky to lead our program. And I'm fired up for him, and I'm excited to have him in it. So thanks for your time today.
Thanks,
Go Cats.
Thanks, Mitch.
Yep.